In this short video, we are going to quickly check about how can we use a function that can dynamically calculate some of the mathematical calculations for us over a series of numbers that are given. Right. So to understand this, we have a series of numbers that is available here, and we're going to try and let's say find the sum, the average, and the count of these numbers. So we already know that we can calculate the sum by using a function sum. We can calculate average by using a function called average, and so on and so forth, right? However, we'll have to do that manually every time for each of these. Uh, is there a function that can allow us to do all of these activities one by one depending on some choice that we have taken? So the answer to that is yes, and there's a function called the subtotal function. So we have a function called subtotal. What does subtotal show us? So if we look at the subtotal function, the syntax of the subtotal function will, as soon as I open the bracket, give me a list of functions that could be there. So if we look at the arguments, the first is function number, and function number 1 would be average, for example, 2 would be count, for example, and then there's a reference that is available. So I can take all this as reference, and this would give me the average, right? I can go here on 1 and remove 1, and I can choose count. So these are 10 numbers, so we can choose count and we can press enter and we get 10, right? I can remove this 2 and possibly choose 9, which is the sum, and I get the sum of all these numbers. I can remove 9 and choose product, and I can get the product of all these numbers, right? So essentially, that's a function that can be used. Now, interestingly, if I want to make it dynamic, let's say I want to kind of add more features to this discussion. Let's say we want to add what is called as a drop-down menu as well. So I want to put a drop-down menu here, which can choose, let's say, things like average, count, product, sum. Let's say these 4 things is what I want to put in. So how do I put that in? We can go to data. We can and in data there is this data validation. I can select data validation. In this any value, I can choose a list, and the source of the list could be these numbers, right? Now, so that comes here, and I can click on OK. When I click on OK, I see all these here, right? So I can select any one of these, and this list is available. What I can also do is in the subtotal function, let's remove this and see where is average. Average is in front of 1, count is in front of 2, max, min, we can also add max, min 4, 5, product is 6, and sum is 9, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do max, min, product, and sum, and I'm going to put 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, and 9 here, right? And in this, we're going to put the data validation where we're going to put this entire set, and we can click on OK. So now all that a person has to do is pick out whatever is the reference here, right? Here, what do we need to do? In the subtotal function, instead of this 9, I have to pull out whatever is selected here corresponding to that. So that's simple. We probably know about it, is that we're going to use this function Vlookup, right? And what are we looking up for? In Vlookup, we're going to look up for count, or the cell here in this particular table, and we're going to look for the second column in this table, and we want an exact match, right? That's what we want. And as soon as we do that, you will note that count here corresponds to 2. So as soon as you select count here, it corresponds to the value 2. And as soon as you put the value 2 in the subtotal function, it'll throw a value of 10. So when I click OK, it throws 10. And now the moment I choose average, it automatically changes it to average. The moment I choose max, it finds out the max value, min value, sum, and of course product. Product being a bigger number is being shown this way, right? So that's how we use this small tool or a combination of these functions, VLOOKUP, subtotal, and the drop-down menus to arrive at what is basically a fairly dynamic model. I can remove this from here. If I want, I can just hide these. So technically all I need to see is what's being chosen from this particular cell, and it automatically calculates and gives me the answer in this cell, right? Thank you.